everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Crystal. It is Monday evening and I'm here by myself with my lovely dog Max, who sat on my lovely sofa. And it's been a bit of a, the weather is cold, it's damp and it's dreary and the windows are all shut, the heating's been on, and you're like, I'm been self-contained in my flat for most of the afternoon. I took Max out for a walk this afternoon, and then I've been doing my Halloween decorations. I've been blowing balloons up, and I've been watching murder cases on the television, like from years and years ago, the first DNA case, and I've been watching various YouTube videos. Alexa, what's the time, please?
The time is 6:36 p.m.
So basically, I've been in my flat since nearly 3 o'clock this afternoon. I made myself some bacon sandwiches. I sat down and I made myself also a cup of coffee, and I sat down and I've just watched back-to-back YouTube videos. Before I did this video, I've gotten back to Coronation Street, episodes of Coronation Street. I live by myself. It sounds a bit echoey in here at the moment. And when the dark evenings draw in and it's really dark outside, and I've got this unknown stalker person on my back, and I've just received a message from a lovely looking chap off a Flirt Finder before I've got to take Max out this evening, and they do it to frighten you, to scare you before you go outside, and it is pitch black. I've got a torch. So this is Clever Guy 22, and would you like to meet him on a dark night? Would you like to meet him? Clever Guy 22. And what did Clever Guy 22 say to me, Crystal? Hi, do you want to play? Do I want to play? And what does he want to play? What does Clever Guy want to play? It's a bit noisy outside. Well, I don't fancy playing with him. I don't know. I think they're doing it to frighten me. Like I said, I've got to take my dog out for a walk. I've got a torch. I'm in my 50s. I know the drill. I go outside with a personal alarm. Anyone comes near me that I don't trust or feel fear of, I let the alarm off. And I've got my mobile phone on me. But it's just a game they play. They don't want to meet. It could be a woman, it could be anybody that just wants to alarm and scare, and they're playing a game, are they? Well, I like playing games. Catch who the stalker is. So guys, I'm just going to briefly show you what I've been doing with my decorations. So we've been putting up some balloons. I've put up the skeletons there. So you've got the skeleton. This is from B&M Stores. And this one as well. And then we've got the balloons from the pound shop there. Let's turn. It's got the face here. And then we've got more balloons. I put the ghost balloon up over there on my balcony window. It's a cobweb balloon, and we've got balloons up here. Not yet finished. My lights are up here that I put up. across there. So yeah, I have been Halloween decorating, and I've been looking up things to get to finish off what I'm doing. I told you I'm looking for a black tree that will double up as a Halloween tree and a Christmas tree. I've got to get some lights and some Halloween decorations for the tree. I've been looking up all sorts of things on eBay. You can get like retro toys, retro Halloween cuddly bears, and you can type in anything really and it comes up. It's got something there. So I've also ordered my Tesco delivery for this week, and hopefully I shall get some more pumpkins. If not, no doubt I'll get some from the local shop to get some pumpkins, because I usually do 2 or 3 carves of pumpkins. I've got the carving kit. So we're going to have a great Halloween. Even if it is by myself, I'm still going to enjoy it. We're going to watch some Halloween videos. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's because like the dark nights are drawing in really early, and it's not light for very long, and you sort of get tucked up indoors, don't you? And it's going to get darker earlier, about 4 or 5 before long. I haven't really been anywhere today apart from walking Max on the field, and I'm not a performing puppet or a clown or a comedian, so I've toned things down a bit, and I'm very, very quiet. And I'm doing it for a reason, because I want to catch this stalker, and I want to find out who it is who's trying to make my life a misery, and I want to return the favour. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
And so I think that's the problem. It's really the
And so
question of confidence.
What does business say to you about this?
So they say we'll hold back. We'll hold back where we aren't already en route to an end.
This is stopping investment coming
Yes.
into the UK.
Bound to.
The Labour Party has talked an awful lot about windfall taxes. They were first to the table with windfall taxes on the Liberal Democrats, and now they're wanting bigger windfall taxes. Given somebody who worked in the industry for so long, what's your view about windfall taxes?
Well, of course, I worked in an industry that's been exposed to an enormous number of windfall
Indeed.
taxes.
Indeed.
And in some ways, excess rent, which is unearned, is not part of the earning stream of a company. And correctly, it can be put back into the ownership of people who own the resources. And after all, in hydrocarbons, oil companies don't own the resources. They have a license to extract them. They're owned by the nation, and excess profit should go back. The question is, how do you do that? I might say the same is true with all sorts of regulated industries, and oil industry is quite regulated, that where there are windfalls, they should be recovered.
And you've said in the past this is a very, very complicated issue to get the balance exactly
Yes.
right. As somebody who's worked so long in the industry, would you work with a future government to look at how windfall taxes could be made to work most effectively?
Well, I'm sure they'd never ask me, but if they did, I would say yes, because I think there are some areas where, in effect, what the return you have on capital slowly reduces as the price of oil rises or the price of natural gas rises, which means that the taxes expand when things are way above what you think they should be. When oil prices are very high, inconceivably high compared with when the basis upon which a project is done, then it's unearned rent, I'm afraid. It's a windfall.
Let me ask you about some global issues. You worked for a very, very long time, remarkably closely with a certain Vladimir Putin. Give me your assessment of what he's really like and what he's like now. Has he changed much?
Well, I did. I worked as it were, I worked with him, I suppose, for 7 or 8 years, and I met him 4 or 5 times a year, at least. I would say he's always been ruthless, tough, and has always made sure that he destabilizes his opponent. You must remember I was always told by an oligarch who will remain nameless that to remind me that Russians are neither European nor Asiatic. They are special. And the way you say hello in Russia is you punch your opponent in the face before you say hello. And this destabilizes them, and therefore you gain advantage. So that's the case. He is, I think, very smart. Mr. Putin always knew his brief backwards, as you would expect a former intelligent agent to be, and will remember things with a steel trap memory. I remember when I went to say goodbye to him, he reminded me of my agenda with him, which I was prosecuting for 7 years. I had a very simple agenda, and he repeated it. And I found that quite extraordinary, actually, that someone would remember that and repeat it back. I don't know how he's changed. I would expect that the core Putin is the core Putin.
Very interesting. And as somebody of Jewish heritage, I think Holocaust survivors in your family, your close family, how do you feel about what's going on in the Middle East right now?
Well, I feel with great passion and pain of what's going on at the moment. What's going on has huge human consequences. People being killed and people dying are on very large numbers. And that is the most important thing to remember. We have many people dying. We must find a solution which stops that. Clearly, the start of this was, a bunch of terrorists attacking a nation that has a right to survive, and indeed has an obligation as a nation to prosecute war accordingly and appropriately to avoid civilian casualties, whereas the other side did not.
And you look around and think the world has become less safe for Jewish people outside Israel?
Generally, yes, but I haven't seen it myself. I've heard about it. And that makes me feel concerned that the number of hate crimes going up in London, for example, is enormous. I do think that in a time of stress, my dear late mother would always say, just remember, when the going gets tough, the majority always hurt the minority. And I think, there is some truth in that. We've got a period of anxiety, a period of stress, and people look to other smaller groups to do something to them.
This might seem a tasteless question, but some people say that given the scale of the crisis in the Middle East at the moment, we're likely to see a further rise in oil and gas prices, further inflation, and another big jolt to the world economy.
That may not be a coupled thought. I think that the price of oil is rising. The price of oil is going up for several reasons. First is not enough investment in oil. And secondly, the ability of OPEC to control supply, importantly to reduce the amount that's in stock. And that the more you reduce the stocks, whether it's in commercial or state stocks, petroleum reserves, the easier it is to get a change in price if you just adjust the supply a bit. And so we're at the point now where if supply is adjusted by OPEC, Saudi Arabia, the price reacts very quickly. I think people should expect, regrettably, pretty high prices for some time now.
Therefore, higher inflation.
Generally, yes. It depends on when it stabilises, but it will be additional to inflation. And it's not just oil, it's also natural gas. Natural gas is still more expensive to transport around the world, and it is going to be something that's expensive for quite a long time.
And finally, Lord Brown, you didn't come out, you were outed by a newspaper, I think in 2007, and you've since written a book about the glass closet. Tell me about the glass closet and why you think it's good for business for more people to come out.
Well, I do think it's terrific if you can get people to behave and be as they really are and include them in teams, because in the end, if you can include people for what they are, you build better teams, and we know that better teams produce better results in business. What is not true is that you can't say to everyone, you must all come out. How about saying that to someone in an office in Uganda? This would be very unwise. It might be fine inside a little office where you say we're all the same, would you go outside and they get beaten up or killed? This is not what you do. So like everything in business, maybe in life, you say safety first. You know, people need to think about their own safety before they come out.
And looking back, do you regret not coming out yourself earlier?
I do, with 2020 hindsight, but the conditions were very different. And after all, the conditions for every individual are different. This is an individual thing, and it depends on your family, on your context, on your time and place in history. I wish, you know, had it been today, who knows, I might have come out very early.
Lord Brown, fascinating to talk to you. Thank you very much for coming in and talking to LBC.
It's a pleasure.
6:50. Coming up, I'm going to do a dive into the background of Hamas as an organisation.
Right, guys, my phone is pinged and I'm just listening to that radio show. My phone has just gone off. Right, guys, it's just somebody texting me on WhatsApp. I'm just going to read it. I hope everybody has a lovely evening. Like I said, if nothing changes, if people don't change things, it's going to stay the same, and I'm afraid it's going to stay the same. See you later.